Alright, here's a pretty cool technique that Ben Wilmore covered on his brand new DVD called Mastering Camera Raw. If you're into Camera Raw, you definitely want to check that out because it's absolutely awesome. It goes into huge amounts of detail of what you can do with Camera Raw. And one of the interesting things he showed was how you can take advantage of smart objects in Photoshop CS2 and Camera Raw. So here I am in Adobe Bridge. I already have a document open in Photoshop. I'm going to choose Place into Photoshop. So even though it's a Camera Raw document, rather than double clicking on it, I'm going to place it. That will open Camera Raw, which of course is way too big for the size of our screen here, but I'll just do something so we can make a change to it and click Open. This will bring in the Camera Raw document. I'll hit Enter, and when I do, you will see momentarily that the icon updates to tell me this is a smart object. Now what that means, of course, is that any time if I decide there's something I don't like about the look of it, I realize I need to tweak it a little more, I just double click on it and that'll go back to Camera Raw. So now I can make further changes to adjust the way I want, and then once I like it and hit Done, it will prepare and sort of replace it, re-import it if you will, and then we'll update in the document. Now, what Ben specifically did in his DVD that I thought was such a great idea is he went to the Layer menu under Smart Objects. Instead of just duplicating the smart object, which would be an exact copy, he used this command, New Smart Object via Copy. And what that does, it's still a smart object, but it's in effect a separate smart object from the same document. And you'll see what I mean in a moment. This time when I double click on it, watch what's going to happen. It still goes back to Camera Raw, but I'm going to make a couple of adjustments here. Let's actually go this way and change the contrast a little bit, saturate it a bit. I'm trying to make it very different so you can see, so let's see if we can't. I'll just darken it up like that. Hit Done. It'll update. And now you see I have two Camera Raw versions of the same one. So now I've overdone it so you can see it, but for example, you can imagine how if there were areas you wanted to have darker or lighter, now what I could do is add a layer mask and basically decide what areas that I want to be visible or not. So I'll take this top one that's too dark and decide I don't want him to be that dark, so I'll mask that out, and maybe some of the background area in behind, something like this. So basically what's allowing me to do is combine two different Camera Raw versions, but they're still smart objects, so later on if I decide once again I want to alter it, I just double click on the smart object, it launches Camera Raw, I make a change, click Done, and it continues to update while still respecting the size and the fact that there's a layer mask attached. So as you can see, this has some really, really interesting possibilities. Hey, this is Dave Cross. Hope you enjoyed that tip, and hope if I do enough of these that someday you'll think of me as another Scott Kelby. Thanks for watching. See you next time.